today we're going to be taking a look at yet another Velocity style RDA. This sucker's called the HATTY or the HATTY by Blitz Enterprises. So the build I have in this sucker is a dual 24 gauge macro build. She's reading at 0.3 ohms. I'm vaping her at 55 watts. I got her sitting on this K-Box 200 watt. The airflow is open underneath the coil and to the coil, directly to the coil. It's completely closed off. Here we go. Chuckified! First things first, we're going to go ahead and dive down. I'm going to show you this thing up close and personal. We'll come back, talk about those pros and the cons, and I'll let you know if I'd have lost this sucker today, would I go out tomorrow and buy one? Alrighty, so here's the plastic box this HATTY comes in. It's got this magnetic cover, sits up top, pop it off, and then inside we got our HATTY, our 510 drip tip adapter, and some extra goodies. But as you guys can see, you got 4 magnets on the box itself, you got 4 magnets on the cover, and that pops on there like so. So here are the extra goodies I received with my RDA, some extra Phillips head screws, and some extra O-rings. And here she is, boys and girls, a close-up view of this HATTY. Few specs for you. She's primarily made of stainless steel. She's 22 millimeters in width, and she's 43 millimeter in height with this wide-bore Delrin drip tip that it comes with. At the base, she's got a gold-plated 510 pin. Here are your 510 threads, smooth, smooth, smooth. And then at the base it says Blitz Enterprises, the guys that make this sucker, and it also says HATTY or HATTY. So you have your set H airflow slots at the base, one on one side, one on the other, and that airflow runs underneath the coil. And then you got your side airflow slots, one on one side, one on the other, and that runs directly to the coil, and that is adjustable. So all you do to adjust is you turn this top cap, and she adjusts. And whatever you adjust on this side is going to be the exact same on this side, especially when you run it in dual coil or dual air hole mode. Now this thing does have a single coil option. To me, I think it's worthless because you can't block the one side off at the bottom. But if you turn it, okay, it'll be open on one side, closed off on the other. But again, I gotta mention, I think it's pointless to have a single coil option running directly to the coil when you can't block off one side at the base. At the top, you got a wide bore Delrin drip tip, which is threaded. It's threaded into the top cap. And there's a close-up view out of. You got your threads which thread into this top cap right here. And the bore is about 10 millimeter all the way through. And I tell you, this thing is super comfortable. Love how it bows out. It just feels so good on the lips. Oh, that's what she said. And just like I showed you, here are the threads that sucker screws into. Nice, smooth threads. Another thing cool about this RDA is it comes with a standard 510 drip tip adapter. Also made of Delrin. And the standard 510 drip tip adapter, just like the wide bore Delrin drip tip, screws into the top cap. And you can go ahead and pop your favorite 510 drip tip in there. But to be honest with you, this thing is just too comfortable to pass up. I've been using this way more than my standard 510 drip tips. I actually never use it with this device. I mean, that's how comfortable this sucker is. Top cap comes out just like so. And as you guys can see, she's single O-ring at the top. You got 3 slots, 1, 2, and then 3. The one that's perpendicular with the side that's blocked off is for your single core or single air hole mode. And then the 2 that are parallel are for your dual core or dual air hole mode. And then there's the barrel. And down here at the base of the barrel, you got a notch, and that press fits into this notch, okay? So when this barrel fits on here, it's not going to spin. It's not going to go anywhere. The airflow at the base is always going to be lined up perfectly. Again, here's an up-close view of the barrel. So if you want to keep the airflow directly running straight to the coil wide open, you just line up the slots that are parallel on the top cap with the slots that are parallel on the barrel. And you adjust just like that. I keep mine blocked off. Blocked off is the way to go for me, because I got plenty of airflow running underneath the coil. Boy, oh boy, here's the Velocity style deck. I love these Velocity style decks. I can't ever get enough of them, man. It's just super efficient, easy, convenient to do your builds. Post holes I measured to be about 2.8 millimeter in diameter each post hole. I mean, that's massive for a Velocity style deck. You could use any size wire. Really, you can't do crazy builds on this. You could do pretty big builds. It's nothing like the 30 millimeter dripper I just showed you guys, but still, it's got a good amount of room. It uses Phillips head screws, which I'm a big fan of, over the grub nuts. I don't have any issues stripping these suckers. Double O-ring at the deck lip, and you got your airflow running underneath the coil. Down there it uses a peak insulator. Here's the positive connection. And as you guys can see, you got the gold plated pin that comes up to connect the positive connection. You got a nice deep juice well. And I tell you, for the price point, this thing's machined pretty darn well. Now, when I first received it, it was dirty. I cleaned her up. But as far as machining goes, for 35 bucks, pretty damn good. So let's just say you have both your builds or your build installed. What you're gonna wanna do from there is line up the slots on the barrel. And you got 2 slots, 1 slot on one side and then 1 slot on the other. But you got only 1 slot, or mine only has 1 slot on one side. That just means you could use it for both sides, if that makes any sense. See that slot right there? I'm gonna try to line that up with this slot right here. Not directly at first, I'm just gonna pop it on there to the left and I'm gonna turn it. And as I turn it, I'm gonna push down. And she'll pop into place just like so. So that right there, boys and girls, is a close-up look at this HATTY by Blitz Enterprises. Let's go ahead and take her back to FaceTime. Okie spankin' dokie, so let's go ahead and start with the cons. First of all, they market this sucker to have a single coil option, and it does straight to the coil, but underneath the coil, It doesn't have a plug. You can't plug one of those slots off. You can't adjust those slots underneath the coil, so that means there's no single coil option. Blitz Enterprises, if you guys are watching, include a plug so you can plug one of those slots off. You do that, and it will have a true single coil option. 2, the HATTY or HATTY that I received did not come with a Phillips head screwdriver, and these Phillips head screws, as you guys saw in the close-ups, are tiny, man, and if you do not own a tiny or smaller Phillips head screwdriver set, you're not going to be able to use that. You're going to have to go out and buy your own. It's just got to be mentioned. It's got to be pointed out. Another subjective con, and this is going to be a little bit nitpicky, but this wide bore downward drip tip, it's threaded, and every time I go to paint my juice on there, I have to unscrew it, screw it back on there, unscrew it, screw it back on there. If they'd make it to where it was press fitted, it would be way easier. It would just be more convenient. Just my 2 cents. And the last con I found for this RDA when I first received it, it was dirty. Let me tell you something. Blitz Enterprises, if you're watching, clean your products. Now the pros. The flavor I get off this dripper is freaking flipping fantastic, man. Obviously, depending on what build you put in here, the airflow smooth. It reminds me of the Kennedy 22. It's got some smooth airflow, and for the price point, this thing's like 35 bucks. Yeah, you got plenty of airflow, by the way, underneath the coil. As you guys saw, underneath the coil, you got airflow and directly to the coil. To be honest with you, I never use the adjustable airflow running straight to the coil, but you can use it. You can use it and open her wide up. To me, I just keep them closed off straight to the coil, and then I have it underneath the coil opened up, and I'm rocking. Woo! That is one satisfying as all hell hit. And I tell you, I love the Velocity style deck. It's easy to do your builds, convenient, saves so much time. I could pop each build in there, secure the leads in less than 2 minutes. And I gotta say, I really like the Phillips head screws. A lot of these other Velocity style RDAs come with grub nuts. I like these better because I don't have stripping issues. Haven't stripped 1 screw yet. As you guys saw in the close-ups, you got a deep juice well, and as far as how much room you have to build on, you got a good amount of room. Not a crazy amount, but you got a good amount. Even though the wide bore downward drip tip that comes with this device is threaded, I'm really digging it. I like the shape. It's super comfortable. Feels good in the old lips. I mean, that's what she said, right? But it does. It feels good. It reminds me of the Ming drip tips. You know, the old Ming drip tips were kind of bowed out. That's what this does. It kind of bows out at the end, and it just feels so good. If it were press fitted, it would be even better. The fact that this sucker comes with a standard 510 drip tip adapter, which enables you to use your standard 510 drip tips, okay, that's a pro. This HATTY's been compatible with all my mods, regulated, unregulated, screwed down, made a connection, sat flush, oh yeah. And last but not least, we can't forget about the price point. I know I mentioned it before, but I'm going to mention it again. $34.99 for this, for a Velocity style RDA with what it comes with. All the pros I just went over, yeah, there's some cons for it, but I mean, $34.99, I'd buy it. So now that I answered the big question of the day, in the description I'll post a link to where you can find this sucker. This is Rip Trippers, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now.